This video provides an overview of Yabber's modal system. We're going to introduce the technical nature of modal assignments. You should reference BeLearn for a general discussion on how modals can be used to improve your conversions. The funnel overview video in particular should be referenced for an understanding of how modals are used in the subscription funnel to increase the number of direct bookings. Modals used on your website is entirely optional, and they should be reserved for cases where they serve a conversion-focused objective. The one case where a modal is essential is on the tail end of any funnel-based subscription sequence. If a user does not convert or does not convert in an escalated manner, we can provide further encouragement with a pop-up modal. This feature alone will double your subscription conversions. What is a modal? A modal is a website pop-up that contains any type of information or media. Before we continue, we'll demonstrate a basic entry and exit modal on a development website. After a defined number of seconds, the modal will render. If a user expresses intent to leave the page, we'll show them another modal. You may use just the entry modal or just the exit modal or neither. Your choice is determined by the page content and escalation type. Your website supports a number of modal types. They are as follows. 1. Entry modals are a modal launched on page entry after a number of seconds. 2. An exit modal that launches on exit intent or when a user shows intent to bounce from a page. 3. Page-specific and landing page modals, or an entry and exit pairing of modals that is assigned to a specific page, ideally suited for granular targeting and, more importantly, landing pages. 4. Geographic modals. And these are shown on the resolved location of the user, ideally suited to first-time buyer information. 5. Launching a modal via a link. These are discussed at the end of the video in brief. They're listed in Yabber and detailed in BeLearn. 6. Lender modals. Lender modals are an entry and exit pairing that are used on lender product pages, and they are assigned to an individual lender or a group of lenders. 7. Real estate modals. Property modals also apply in a significant way when returning property details to a page. This feature may be a reserved module. Despite the fact it was created for brokers to support property partners, it's an incredibly powerful standalone property product. A modal must be relevant, and it must be shown in a manner that enhances the user experience, provides an education or contributes towards an understanding of your product. Our segmented modal tools do what others cannot and will not provide: deliver relevance and capture the attention of your user, their purpose, escalate and support conversions. Should be noted that real estate property modules are discussed in another video, as they're a standalone system that works independently of the primary modal system. A number of other website modals apply, such as calculator modals, video modals, and what we call bank modals. And all these are introduced in other videos, and all modal types are introduced in BeLearn. While there are a large number of modal options, the most basic usage is normally suitable early on, and it takes no longer than a few minutes to set up. But as you require more functionality or as your marketing presence matures, Yabber will accommodate virtually anything you ask of it. All modal deliveries and conversions are tracked to the user level, and optional triggers apply with any modal interaction served to a user, usually actioned on the basis of a modal link click. Yabber modals are unquestionably the most feature-rich in the industry, and we provide the only lender-focused modals and the only integrated landing page modals in the finance market. Used correctly, they'll have a profound impact on your digital marketing efforts. For advanced usage, each modal module provides for a modal to show based on the resolved borrowing objective of the user. If the user is determined to be a first-home buyer, we'll show that user a modal with first-home buyer information. If a user is resolved to be an investment borrower, we'll show them the user investor information, and so on. Now, this is an advanced feature funnel tool and requires an understanding of beliefs conditional methods. The conditional options can generally be ignored early in your marketing efforts, and we'll only touch on the conditional features in brief. The creation of modals is global in nature, in that any created modal may be assigned to any page for any reason. The following snippet details the manner in which a modal is created. To create a modal, you should navigate your way to the information panels via the icon in the website module. Select Modals or select Create Modal from the page menu. You're required to give your modal a name and description. This name will be presented to you in form, so it should be descriptive. The modal background is usually white, but you may give your modal any background color. You may also provide a border. Selecting the lender logo option simply renders a wide logo at the top of the modal, usually suitable when introducing lender-specific products or terms. If the modal is a lender-specific modal and you would like it assigned to the lender modal schedule, a feature discussed in the lender modal video, select the lender here. This will make no sense just yet. Anything created within the content editor will be rendered into your modal. The modal supports virtually any content, including video, forms, and images. We'll copy in some content here from another modal for the purpose of the demo. Various shortcodes apply for rendering of videos, images, and buttons. These options are shown under the content editor. Select the width and height for your modal. Default values are provided. The modal call to action buttons were previously a platinum feature but will soon be migrated into the standard subscription package. If you have created a call to action pairing of buttons, they may be assigned here and they'll show after all modal content. If you would like a full screen modal, select the full screen option and fill in the appropriate details. You have the option of applying a background, image or colour. And if an image is selected, you will be required to specify the blur applied to the background. The optional interest type is part of the conditional system, and the conditional module should be referenced for an understanding of how the conditional features are used. The modal is now created. For the purpose of showing what this modal looks like, we'll use a shortcode to reference the modal on our website. Clicking on the link returns a result as follows. This modal may now be assigned to any of the modal types made available on your website through Yabber. The easiest way of understanding modals is by creating one and having a play. Any modal may be edited at any time from the review panel. The entry and exit modals are defined as a group, and the manner in which entry and exit modal groups are created is identical. Why is an individual entry or exit modal assigned to a group? This is because we're not assigning a single modal. If you're using our conditional features, you may assign individual modals to a specific interest type. A primary modal will be assigned for the majority of cases, or when a user interest cannot be resolved, or when conditional modals aren't assigned. But if we can identify the borrowing objective of the user and a modal was assigned to that interest type, we'll show that modal instead. Groups of modals may be split tests against each other for return on investment analysis. Now, we know this sounds confusing. However, the system is easy to use and creation of modals takes seconds. In most cases, you will assign a single modal and ignore the conditional options. The page modal is a distinct entry and exit modal assigned to a specific page. Introduced in more detail in our general couch discussion video, serving a known and highly relevant modal to a specific page is relevant for pages that are targeted, highly trafficked, or serve an escalation conversion focused objective. They are almost always assigned to subscription funnels, on a fact find report page, or the subscription page when the user does not convert. To demonstrate, we'll select our website, select a specific page, and then define our entry modal or exit modal. Note that we're also required to define the wait time before an entry modal will show. Geographic modals are shown on the basis of the resolved location of the user, ideal for property modals or first home buyer information. In the case of geographic modals, we're required to select a modal for each Australian state or territory. Note that we may optionally select an interest type assigned with the group. Once complete, click Save. Lender modals are shown on lender, archive and product pages, so they're shown only when the page is very specific to a single lender. Lender modals apply on lender product archives or pages or at any time when the page content is specifically assigned to an accredited lender. To define lender modals, we start by selecting our website and the preferred entry and exit pairing. This pairing may now be assigned to a single lender or a group of lenders or all lenders. In all cases, we're required to select the interval applied before the modals are shown again to the same user. For lender modals, those lenders marked with a red dot do not have a modal pairing assigned. Those lenders in light grey with a green dot do have a modal pairing assigned. You may assign a single entry and exit pairing as the default, meaning that if no modal was assigned to a specific lender, the group modal pairing will apply. We tend to suggest that you apply modals based on the category or tier of lender with the generic modal for all other cases. When you have defined all your modal usage, you are required to send an update to your website. And this is because Yabber is a multi-website system. Select your website, entry and exit modal, show again time, and send. Your updates will immediately apply. You may edit and review all modals from the review panel. A send log is also maintained. General shortcode links may be used in your general article content to reference a specific modal or a modal assigned to a lender. The shortcode is detailed in BeLearn and it should be available from the shortcode editor in WordPress. If you're using the content creation tools in Yabber such as Contentus or Blocks, you may also use these modal shortcodes in this content. An example of the modal link was shown earlier when showing how to create a modal. Direct modal links will always show a defined modal and no BNet variations apply. Yabber's basic trigger system applies for direct link modals. Clicking on the link icon in the modal menu, then selecting your website and modal returns a panel of basic trigger options. The triggers may apply globally to the modal or just on a certain page. These page-level trigger options gives us granular control over landing page campaigns, an essential feature for any broker. Only basic trigger options apply for modal link clicks, which includes an SMS or MMS voice drop message to the user, an email or an email subscription correction. Remember, each and every digital interaction from any source must be tracked and it must be considered for funnel escalation. In all modal cases, there's a wait applied before the modal is shown again to the same user. To clear the cache and start showing modals for all users, immediately refresh the data via the website cache menu. All modal interactions and renderings of any type are recorded in Yabber. Full statistics are returned. Now, what we've just described are the only lender-specific conditional and geographic modal systems of its kind in the finance industry. While it appears a little complex, it's very easy to use, and used sensibly, it'll have a seriously significant impact on your organic and paid promotions. As you might be able to tell, the modal is completely different to the generic nonsense in the mortgage market, so make the most of the feature and you'll see a seriously significant impact on your digital success. While it might seem an advanced system, it really is easy to use, and a quick review of the module is enough to make sense of the feature. If you have any feature requests, encounter any bugs, or require any assistance, please let us know.